playing guitar. What? Think about what you're gonna do with your life, man. I want to be a metal musician, Dad. Where are you going to get money from, man, to pay your bills? Huh? Your bloody grandfather Allah will pay the bills or what? Money? I don't need money. I can live off my music. My music feeds my soul. Sala. Bloody metal noise all the time. Can I make a living playing heavy metal music? That's a question I've been asked numerous times. I've posted many status messages about this even, but I figured now's the time to make a video once and for all and sort out the question. Ever since I got into heavy metal music and I started writing my own songs, I knew that this is exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. The only thing is I didn't know how, I didn't know if it was possible. Like all metal musicians, I had the dream too of playing in front of 100,000 people and having the entire crowd chanting your name, singing the lyrics along with you, being signed to a big record label and all that jazz. However, my dreams were all crushed pretty soon as I grasped the reality of the music business. Having said that, that did not deter me from trying at least, and for the last 16 years I have been playing metal music with the hope that one day I could do this full time. I've always kind of had a hope that there is a possibility to make a living playing metal music, which is what has kept me going. But recently I actually sat down with my band and we were talking about this, and I actually started calculating and trying to figure out how much money do I actually need per month to live a decent life. And what are the realities and the possibilities of the band actually generating that kind of money. And I unfortunately discovered that the reality is quite grim, and that also kind of inspired me to take this video idea forward. So let's start from the top, and let's keep in mind that this is aimed at the Indian metal musician for now. I'll do a separate video talking about what it's like to tour outside India and what are the possibilities to earn a living doing it there. Now, I polled my friends list on Facebook to find out what people thought is a decent salary for a person. And I realized that most of the kids on my list are, well, kids, and they haven't really, been out there in the real world and had to earn a living. I'm 33 now, going to be 34. And I would say most of my friends or most of the people who have regular jobs would be earning $1 lakh a month minimum in Bombay. That is the kind of money you need to live a decent life here. So, that's quite a bit of money for a lot of people, of course, especially if you're 18 or 19. For you, $1 lakh a month sounds like, wow, I could probably buy a mansion with that. But if you try to buy a house in Mumbai, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take a conservative figure of 50,000 per month is what I would need, say, to live a decent life. 50,000 rupees a month is 6 lakhs a year. Do the maths. 6 lakhs is about 10,000 USD. That is what our target would be to make a decent living. Now, is it possible to earn even half of that being in a band? If you are a 5-member band, at 6 lakhs per member per year, you're looking at earning revenue of 30 lakhs per year. That is pure profit, not counting any expenses. I'm sure a lot of you are already going, how the fuck is that even possible? You know what? You're right, it's not possible. Let's look at the reality of things. There are 3 ways right now that bands can earn money. One is gigs, the other is merchandise, and the third is your music itself. Let's break them down one at a time. Now, when it comes to live gigs, most of you guys are in bands. You would know that the average band plays about 12 live shows a year. Yep, that's right. Now, what are the possibilities of money you could earn? There are 3 kinds of gigs that most bands play. One is a college festival, the other is a music festival, and the third is a club show. Now, let's be honest, most Indian bands, the biggest of Indian bands would be paid 25 to 35,000 for a club show. There are some bands that may charge you around 60, but let's face it, they may play 1 club show in a year. So, tough call there. A college gig at best, at maximum, would pay an Indian metal band maybe $1 lakh of rupees. That's 100,000 INR. Now, from the 12 gigs that a band plays on average in a year, it's very unlikely that all 12 would be a college festival. But for argument's sake, let's assume that all 12 gigs are actually college festivals. Let us assume that we take out no deductions for the sound engineer's fee, for the rehearsals, for new equipment, for anything at all. Assume that the band makes 1 lakh rupees profit for 12 shows in a year. That's only 12 lakh rupees, which means 2 of your members can probably do this full time, the rest of the guys doing it for free. All jokes aside, think of it, do the maths yourself. It looks pretty impossible. Let's talk about merch now. Most Indian bands barely move 100 t-shirts in a year. At best case scenario, let's say they move 200 t-shirts in a year. Assume that's 2 different designs. Each design would cost them anywhere from 5,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees to get done. The profit per t-shirt at best would be close to 300 rupees. That's not a lot of money. That's maybe 40,000 rupees in profit at best. So add that 40,000 to your 12 lakhs, that's 12 lakhs 40,000. The last and final is your music sales. Now, there was a point in time where Indian metal bands were selling close to 1,000 copies of an album. These days, if they touch 500, they are lucky. Assume that it was a digital release and they sold 500 copies at 300 rupees and got 100% profit, not even counting any deductions from any other place. That's only 1.5 lakh. And everyone knows that you can get an album done cheap, but any band that is selling 500 copies of a CD is probably not going to a cheap studio. They are probably spending 3 lakhs at least on an album. If not an album and a video combined. So what you get out of that again is mostly a loss, which would get deducted from the live shows that you play. So at the end of the day, do you make any money? Most likely, you don't make much money. You make enough money to record your album. And again, I've given you the absolute best case scenario. If you looked at the actual accounts of most Indian bands, you'd find that it's nowhere close to the numbers I've given you. It's a lot less money that they make. Now, Indian metalheads always have got some kind of weird reasoning and weird ideas of what they think is the problem and what they think works. A fucking problem, no, is all people bloody listen to Honey Singh, Yo-Yo and Bollywood, man. If all those guys listen to metal, metal would flourish, man. Metal needs the Bollywood guys to listen to metal. Otherwise, we're fucked, man. We're fucked. We don't have it. Fucked. Man, we just need sponsors, okay? Sponsors. The metal scene needs sponsors, man. We get sponsors, we'll have no problem. All sponsors. Bloody, they sponsor all EDM and all. Why they don't sponsor metal, man? And unfortunately, none of that is true. None of this makes a big difference. The metal scene has to grow and evolve. Will we ever reach a point where we can make a living out of it? I'm not sure. Obviously, if you don't have any hope, then it's a bit of a grim scene. But if you guys have any questions, please leave me a comment below and I will do a special episode answering all your questions about this. Now, a lot of kids think that if you're signed to a record label, you might get a lot of money and stuff, but that's all crap. Demonic Resurrection is signed to one of the major labels in India, and let me tell you, the amount of money we recovered from sales is very little. Because how does a record label work? The average deal a record label will give you on a CD is 20 to 23%. For argument's sake and for the simplicity of calculation, let's take 20%. The 20% is not on the MRP of your CD. It's on the money that the record label gets after all the deductions. So for example, if my album costs 300 rupees and the label sells it to Flipkart for 200 rupees, I will get 20% on 200, which is a measly 40 rupees per CD. So for example, if I sold 1,000 CDs, I would make 40,000 rupees. Which when you're spending 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs on recording an album is not a lot of money at all. So that's the scene with record labels. So a lot of people have this misconception that record label is the answer. Please sign us, please help us with contacts. Do it your damn self, because you'll make more money that way. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and like I said, if you have any questions, leave me a comment below and I'll do a special video answering all your questions. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, give the video a thumbs up and share it on social media if you like it. Until the next video, Cheers and stay demonic. Dad, can I borrow $20 for the auto?